So Cloudmore, again, I can't thank our worldwide partners enough. They've been amazing. And
Yes.
MCAs, you've been awesome letting us work with you on the listing sides and Evergreen and that lab. And here's the skinny of it, guys. The lab with Cloudmore is we will replace Winmore with Cloudmore that will be plugged into Keller Cloud. And what that means for us is that we will have no transmittals. The month will just close. All of your data will be there in real time, not last month's. And no double data entry.
Yeah.
Wait. So.
Okay. You're really weird about clapping for that as loud as you did, and the other stuff you didn't, but I love you, so that's okay. Yeah, there you go. And by the way, this is not pie in the sky. This is all happening in real time through the labs, right? So the way the labs work, again, is we start with a small group, and we work up from that. And by the way, these products don't ever come out of the lab.
Ever.
Never. Meaning that there's always work to be done on these products. Make sense to you? Okay. So if we got it wrong, we'll fix it. If it doesn't work, we'll fix it.
So Command, we've got about 867 agents in the lab now. One of the most common questions I get is, when's it getting released? And so I want to make sure everyone knows.
Stop asking that.
The answer is, technically, it is released.
Yeah, every product you saw has already been released.
The difference is, when will it be available for everyone? And that question...
So if we were only a company of 867 agents...
would be generally available.
Yeah, if we only had 2,000 like Compass, we're
almost there.
Yeah.
So the...
No, I'm just saying, the challenge that we have is you are the biggest on the freaking planet. Do you understand? Here's the thing he tells me. He goes, Gary, you do understand that to launch anything, you compared it to something like a Netflix or whatever.
Yeah, so Netflix, we go to all the same tech conventions at Netflix there, and we actually talk to the engineers. In fact, Kelly, even if it's in infancy state, Google has asked us twice now to come out and speak about our real estate AI because it's cutting edge, even if it's in its infancy state. And so we're at all these conferences and with Netflix. So Netflix has 900 custom workflows. So when they get a TV show from Fox or from this person, they have 900 workflows that goes through the system. And that was like a big reveal. Like, oh my goodness, the amount of computing power to manage that. Well, with Command, each one of you are your own business. You're your own Netflix. So you could easily have 100 business flows. So take 170,000, times that by 100
workflows.
That is the volume of scale that we have to go figure out. And so I'm talking to the Netflix guy going, oh, I wish I only had 900. Like, give me that problem. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so the answer, though...
We have a big problem. We have a big challenge.
When we go from these 867 agents that are using it every day to everyone, the answer is when they say. They get to say it's ready or not. They get to say this past customer because they're the ones designing it. And so the 5 things that they're designing Command to do today is they said it has to have everything in one place.
So let me stop and point out again. The word CRM is a dead word. If someone's telling you that you're using a CRM, you're using old language. In other words, CRM, the way if you think about it, CRM, when you ran your database set in your hardware, right? Today, we don't want our database in the hardware, we want our database in the cloud, right? So essentially, when you decouple the CRM, the tasks that it does to the database, you're left with a command, which is nothing more than automated tasks. Does that make sense? So it's just smart plans. It's just executing plans against your data.
That's right. We then, as we all know, has to work for both individuals and teams. And it has to be extremely customizable because all of our businesses are different. Yeah. And the last thing, which is really cool to watch the agents build and design, is it has to be easy and fun.
Yep.
So this is actually the dashboard that they've built, that they're working on right now.
Don't try to read it, you can't.
Basically, they wanted an area that tells them what the progress is on their daily and weekly task, their progress on their monthly goals that they've set, an easy, what do I need to do today, all the stuff they have to do, here are the key people that I need to contact, and what's on my calendar.
What I love about that, you can't maybe read it, but under each of those headings, there's calendar and what's on my calendar today.
Yeah.
And what does that question represent?
These five that represents the 5 categories that Kelly will answer.
That's right.
You can ask Kelly, right? What do
Kelly,
I need to do today? What's on my calendar? Yep.
That's exactly right.
How am I doing on my monthly goals? And Kelly can actually answer.
That's right. The next thing is they wanted they wanted to see everything about someone in their database in one spot. And so you'll see that they actually have all their table stakes, their contact information, everything about them, all their notes, but they also wanted to know all of their emails, all their phone calls. They didn't want to have to double enter that. They just wanted it to be stored. Integration with Gmail, integration with email, integration with their calendar, integration with text message, integration with everything they're doing, so it just shows up. And so this actually, no one put this into the system, but the system actually saw that they have a meeting with Nancy coming up on February 20th at 4:30. And so they can now see this is in the future, and they can make some action on it if they want. More importantly, like Gary was talking about earlier, is here are all the smart plans, code word for automated workflow, automated task. You tell command, this is how I want to run my business.
Yeah, my 14-week listing marketing plan.
That's exactly right.
My 33-touch.
Absolutely.
Whatever.
My military vet program, whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
And you can either set these up specifically for people or say anytime someone has this tag or meets this criteria, I want the smart plan to just go and work. And then Command and Kelly will help you anywhere they can automatically do things, or Kelly or Command will remind you it's time to now do something. But we know we can't design everything here at Keller Williams International, but we will design some. So this is, for instance, the 3-step listing marketing plan. And so we know that when you take a listing with KWLS, we'll integrate with that data. We'll then put together a just listed direct mail campaign that you said, these are how I like to do it. We'll put together an email campaign to all the agents in your database. And we'll put together a Facebook campaign that says, hey, this is how we can go advertise this listing on Facebook. And it will do all that for you, and you just say, yep, let's go.
And by the way, you already built the Facebook Accelerator program, and it worked.
That's right.
The challenge is Facebook, because of the fake news problem, has changed its practices right now.
Yes.
And we're in negotiation with Facebook on how do we get back up and running.
Yeah, so we have a Facebook lab. It's specifically on that one component. And like you said, if you do Facebook marketing and advertising, you felt over the last 12 months that's been materially different. They're getting a lot of pressure to change how people can put ads on Facebook. And so they kind of went way extreme in response.
Yeah.
And so they can shut off ads without notice. So until we figure out something that allows us to have more peace of mind, we're going to have to keep working with them. But we know that we can't build all the smart plans here. So what this actually is people, agents, you can collaborate with each other and say, here is my contract to close checklist, and I can give that away to free. I can charge a fee, or I can just give it to people on my team or people I know privately. And so you can actually have your own smart plans, however you want to configure them.
I love that came out of labs. So if you have an expansion team, we could upload all of our systems and only share that with our expansion members.
That's exactly right.
So it becomes a platform for us to scale faster.
Or if you're in a mastermind group and you guys come together in that mastermind group across the country, come up with a really cool smart plan, you can share that privately. Or if you go to listen to an agent speak and listen to their systems and models, you have an easy button to go implement those systems and models inside your command.
Yep.
And then the agents made sure that whether it be email, whether it be direct mail, whether it be any marketing advertising, they wanted a comprehensive dashboard to track all of this in one place. And
you have Command Labs live during Family Reunion, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so you can sign up for those. Okay.
Absolutely. And if you've seen that big glass, we call it the fish tank, but the labs live, there are people in there, all Family Reunion labbing how to make our systems better. This was actually really interesting. This was the agents came and said one of their biggest challenges is they couldn't answer. We were in a lab once, and the aha happened when we were in the lab for about 4 hours, and the question came up and said, how many offers on your team have agents on your team sent out? Well, I don't know. We do that in a daily stand-up meeting, or we do that in our semi-weekly stand-up meeting. Well, what conversion of offers sent out are accepted in the past week? And how does that affect your pipeline? And I was like, I don't know those answers. And so we really started working out, well, what does offer management really look like in an easy, intuitive way so the agents can be in control of their business? And on the flip side, the buyer or the seller can feel like they're tapped into this experience. And this is that whole physical and digital world coming together to create a proprietary experience so that we have differentiation. And so imagine if I'm a buyer or a seller and I put an offer in or we're receiving offers, if I have a real-time dashboard that's just up to date as I do with my Fidelity app that sees when I sell and buy stocks. And so now I don't have to call my agent and say, hey, I saw the guy walking his dog. He stopped by my home. Are they going to call? Did they call you? Instead, I have full visibility and transparency in everything happening with my property. And so that's what we've been labbing with them. And the cool thing about that is once we have that and we collectively work together, we can take some simple information just out of the KWLS, which is the price, the address, the bedroom, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, and square footage. And we can look at it and we can start saying, hey, did you know before anything else happens, at this price point in this area, homes like this will sell at approximately 92% of the list price, and they'll be on the market for about 42 days. And the cool part is, as you start receiving and managing offers, those insights will start to continue to build to give you more and more insights on every offer and every counter offer.
So this is going to be painful for you. No, hang on, don't clap yet. It's going to be painful for you because remember we talked about this. In order for you to be Amazon, in order for you to be Google, in order for you to be Apple, in order for you to be any of these data insight companies, you have to get off of your physical habit and get into a digital habit. So this is going to be painful because even though it's going to work great, it's no different than that new car that you bought that operates different than your old car, and you sit in it and you immediately realize you have to read the manual and you're frustrated because you really just want it to be so intuitive. It works like your old car, and it doesn't work like your old car. This is not your old car. This is a new car. But in order for you to have the insight, right, the data, so that we have the insights, you literally have to get the way you do business onto a platform where you're doing it with your phone or you're doing it with your laptop instead of doing it with paper. And you're not going to thank us in the short term. You're not. You're going to be cursing us. But in the long term, and I mean long term as in this year, by the end of the year, you will go, thank goodness we do this. Because you will see the insights. Because think about it again. Literally, you could be filling out a contract, and immediately you get to each space in the contract, and it can. And what Kelly would have the ability to do is to literally go through and say things like, "Well, you do understand that with that down payment and this price range in your city, that has an 87% chance of closing." Do you understand that? It would have the ability to look at the repair amount and say, in that price range in your city or in that price range in your state, the average repair allowance for a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, blah, 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 is $3,000. The buyer is asking for $5,000. Or the average amount is $3,000, the buyer is asking for $1,000. Do you see? We can take one data point and we can query everything about it, right? We can simply look at one piece of information and then say, well, how does that change based on who the buyer is, or who the seller is, or what the property is, or any data point in the property? We can query against every other data point against one piece of information to make you the smartest real estate agent on the planet. Oh yeah.
In fact, if you want to learn more about Command, we're actually having breakout sessions today at 3:45 at room 204 ABC, or Monday at 1:30 at the same room, and we're doing an open mic.
Yeah, so by the way, you could also go to our lab site, but we've been totally on Connect, and we've been totally transparent from day one. All of our labs are up on the site. You could, if you were so inclined, you could get in there and read everything that we're doing.
And everything you just saw, we have our team here. A lot of them are new, like we talked about, at the tech booth, ready to walk you through that.
All right.